Hello guys, welcome back to Coding Cafe. My name is Mohammed Ali and in this video we will learn all about inheritance. We will discuss what is inheritance and we will see the important points about the inheritance, and then we will do the implementation in Visual Studio in C#. Okay, so first of all, what is inheritance? So inheritance is basically the relationship between parents and child. As you know that a child can have some properties from their parent, that is, for example, hair color and eyes color. Okay, they can have the same eye color, or maybe the hair color of parents and child can have same. Okay, so basically what I mean is that child can inherit some properties from their parent, and also the child can have their own different, or you can say independent properties. So this is all about inheritance. So inheritance is basically a mechanism of considering the members of one class in another class by establishing parent and child relationship between the classes. We will understand it through example when we write the code now in Visual Studio. But first let's discuss these points, then we will understand each of these points. Inheritance provide you reusability, that is, it provide a platform where we cannot basically rewrite the code again and again. Okay, and this is the child class and this is the parent class. Let's say we have two features inside the parent class, or you can say two methods in a parent class. So these two methods can be accessible by child class, okay, without the repetition of code. Okay, so these two features of the parent can be accessible. I mean, child have access to both of these methods, and the child has an independent method, or you can say feature, which is by the name feature 3. So the child can access the features or members of a parent class, and also child can access his own independent features, or you can say members of its own class. Okay, so child can access the parent class and also can access its own features and members. Now parent class can access its own features, or you can say members, but parent class cannot access its child features or members. So child class can access the constructor of a parent class. Also the parent class constructor is executed first, and then the child class constructor executed after that whenever we create the object of a child class. Now we will understand it more clearly when we do the implementation of this in Visual Studio. So create new project and console app.net framework, and the name of this app will be, let's name it as inheritance project. You can give it any name you want. Click OK, and our new project, inheritance project, is launched successfully. This is our default class program and this is our main function. Here we can basically create a class now. Let's say calculator, the class name will be. Okay, and inside this class we will have two methods. The first one will be for addition. It should receive two parameters of double data type from the main, and let's say the name of that will be input 1, and the second one will be input 2. Addition results equals to input, put two braces, and let's add input 1 with input 2, and let's create another method which will perform the subtraction. So change this to subtraction and change this to subtraction result, and it should be input 1 minus input 2. Now let's create another class, and let's say that will be scientific calculator. Now let's say I need the functionality of addition and subtraction inside this scientific calculator class also. So what I will do, I will write the addition and subtraction method also here, right? No, this is a very bad practice. I mean, let's say if I will copy the code here and I will paste that here. Okay, so this is basically the repetition of code, and this is not the reusability. So there is no need to copy the code, okay, again, or you can say to duplicate the code. As I told you, inheritance basically provide reusability, so that we can use the code whenever we want and whatever we want about it. Okay, so we can access these two methods anywhere we want by creating the child and parent relationship. So what I will do, to use the inheritance concept, we will make this class as a child class for the class calculator. So calculator will become a parent class for this scientific calculator. So to make this scientific calculator as a child class, we will add this colon here, okay, and then the parent class name, which is calculator. So a calculator becomes a parent class for this class, which is scientific calculator, and this become child class for this. So now this scientific calculator can access the methods of its parent class. Okay, these two methods. Now the scientific calculator can access these two methods. So how they can access it? By creating the scientific calculator object. Let's say sc equals to new scientific calculator. So sc is the object of scientific calculator class, and now we can say sc dot, and you can see here addition and then also subtraction, and also you can see this message here, which is calculator dot subtraction. So calculator is our parent class. So now by using the child class object, we can access the methods of the parent class. So all the methods of a parent class now becomes also the child class properties, or you can say members of the child class, by using the concept of inheritance here. So first, let me tell you, when I said here that is inheritance is a mechanism of considering the members of one class, which is basically our parent class, the members of parent class in another class, which means child class. So members of parent class in child class by establishing parent and child relationship between the classes. So this is our parent class, okay, and we create a child class. And inside this class, basically why we make this as a child class, because inside this class we need the methods of this class, which is calculator. So we make this scientific calculator as a child class for the calculator, and now we can access the methods of the parent class calculator by using the object of the child class. So we can say here addition, and let's pass values to it. So let's say 10, 5 sc dot subtraction. And also this point is clear, that is child class or object of a child class can access all the methods member of a parent class. Okay, so this is basically the implementation example about which I talked earlier. So let's press Ctrl F5 and run the program, and you can see this addition results equals to 15 and subtraction results equals to 5. Now let's implement the example of the second point, which is but parent class or object of a parent class cannot access methods or member of a child class. So it basically means that if a child class have their own methods, let's say the child class has the method public void division, and it will have two parameters. It will accept two input, which is the input 1 and the input 2. Okay, so it will accept these two from the main function. And then here we can say division result equals to input 1 divided by input 2, and let's create another member of this class, which are basically now the own member of this scientific calculator. Okay, and this will be for the multiplication. So we can say multiplication results equals to input 1 multiply input 2. So as you know that these are the own methods, or you can say the own properties of a child class. So now the child class can access its own properties, or you can say its own methods, and also the child class can access the properties or methods or members of its parent class. Okay, so child class can have the access to access his parent class members or you can say the properties, and also it has the access to access its own members, or you can say its own properties. That is, let me write here sc dot, and you can see dot division sc dot multiplication. And if I run this, then you can see that division result, multiplication result. And the point which I want to tell you is that but parent class or object of parent class cannot access the method member of a child class. So let's create a object of a parent class. As you know that this is the object of a child class. Okay, so then we will see that is it possible that the parent class can also access its own methods and also it access the methods of its child class. Is it possible? So as I told you, it is not possible. So let's check it through implementation. So let's say I will comment this section, okay, and I will now create calculator class object by the name C equals to new calculator, which is basically our parent class. And now here I can say C dot, and you can see that parent class objects has only access to its own methods, which is addition and subtraction. So let's write this C dot addition 10,5, C dot subtraction 10,5, and now let's say we blindly type we are now trying to access the member of a child class, which is the C dot, let's say, division, and you will be able to see that it will show us an error, and you can see that. Okay, so division is basically the child class member and we are trying to access it using the object of parent class, and you can see it says calculator does not contain a definition for division and no extension method division accepting. Okay, so you can see that we cannot access the methods of a child class using the inside the parent class, or you can say by using the object of a parent class. Okay, so we cannot access the child class members or properties by using the object of parent class. So let's remove this and let's press Ctrl F5, and you can see addition result and subtraction result. So subtraction and addition are both the properties of a parent class. You can see that. Okay, and parent class object is not able to access the methods of its child class, which is division and multiplication. Now here comes the third point, which is we can also create reference of parent class by using child class reference. It basically means you can see that here we basically create an object of the parent class. You can also create a reference here, and the reference I mean is that we can write here this calculator C, which means that this is basically a variable and which belongs to a calculator, and now using this variable we can access the parent class methods also. But before doing that we have to write it like that. I mean by using the, here you can see that here it is written by using the child class reference. So we have to assign the child class reference, the object of the child class basically. So I will say here that is C, which is the variable of a parent class. Okay, and now I will assign the reference of a child class, which is SC. And now let's press Ctrl F5, and you can see that now I can also access the parent class member by using the reference of a child class object. Okay, you can see that. Now here is the last point, which is the child class can access the constructor of a parent class. Also parent class constructor is executed first and then the child class constructor executed whenever we create object of child class. So let's understand this. So let's remove these parent class construct object from here, and now we will understand this. Let's create a constructor for the parent. Okay, so to create a constructor we use public and the class name, which is calculator, and this, and let's say display here a simple message just to see that how the constructor of a child class can show us the the object, that by creating the object of a child class how we can execute the constructor, which is about this point, that is child class can access the constructor of parent class. So let's write here a message that is I am parent class constructor. Press Ctrl F5 and you can see that the parent class constructor is called here. Okay, and you know that if you watch our tutorial about the constructor, then you know that the constructor is executed first whenever we create an object. Okay, but we are doing the inheritance concept. So for this, as I told you, whenever we create the object of a child class, then the constructor of the parent class will execute first. And also, if we have a constructor for the child class, let's say change this to scientific calculator, sorry for that, I am child class constructor. Okay, so here we have a constructor for the parent class which is by the name calculator, and this is the message. And also for the child class we have a constructor, and this is the child class constructor. Okay, so this point basically means that whenever we create the object of a child class, which is this one, then first the parent class constructor will be called and then the child class constructor will be called. So let's check it. Control F5 and you can see that I am a parent class constructor. So first the parent class constructor is called and then the child class constructor. You can see that, and then the whole results which appears here. Okay, so in this video tutorial you have successfully learned that is what is inheritance, and we have discussed the important points about the inheritance, and also we discussed the whole concept on inheritance through examples and through implementation. So I hope you understand everything clearly. So yeah, that's it for this video, and if any one of you have any confusion or any question, then please let me know in the comment section down below and I will reply as soon as possible. So yeah, take care of yourself and bye for now.